time's up. Let's do this.
We're in for a wild night.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 126 of Born to be Wild, a Wild exclusive Hearthstone podcast where we have fun hanging out with friends, talking about the Wild format of Hearthstone, spotlighting members of the Wild community. I'm your host, as always, Nate Wolf. It is great to be back on a beautiful fall evening, Friday evening here, joining you for Portland, Oregon. It has been quite an eventful week for me. We'll talk about it just momentarily, but I am joined tonight by two of my favorite people. Hydra, welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Thanks. Coming at you guys from the greater Vancouver area. Also leaning into that autumn season. Everything still looks green as I look out the window, but I don't think that's going to last much longer. But I'm excited that it is still beautiful outside and I can see you two in your beautiful faces.
Oh,
so
yeah,
very happy to be here. It's going to be a good time. It's always a great time talking to you guys.
The leaves have started changing colors here. Like the green is still here, but the red is starting to creep in, and it like it was hot last week, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, it rained all day. It's like, all right, well, bye summer. Anyways, well, welcome back, Sheep. How are you? It's always great to see you.
Yeah, howdy, friend. I'm feeling good.
That's funny. I get that joke. So there's two very important things that happened this week. One of them happened to me, and one of them happened to Sheep. And I don't know if anything awesome happened to you, Hydra, aside from Chinese food, which sounds wonderful. But I want to hear about this Gorillaz concert. So
it was incredible. So I went to see the Gorillaz at Ball Arena. So that's where the Denver Nuggets play, and then the Colorado Avalanche. Like they do both the hockey and the dribbly hoops. And I say
slippery
hoops.
Skates and dribbly hoops.
There you go. Basketball is my favorite sport, so I say dribbly hoops endearingly.
I always wondered how a cartoon band puts on a live show.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm not sure how they used to do it at the very least, but how they do it now is, like the people, because fun fact, there are people behind the band. Like it's a Damon. I know.
They're not cartoons?
It's not just these folks.
Spoiler.
It's like, so don't know if I was prepared to hear that.
I'm sorry to break that to you, Nate.
You're ruining the mystique.
So they played on stage, like in front of this like really, really big, like super big screen. And so every time they would play one of the songs, they would actually show, most of the time it's like the music video, but sometimes it would be like not the music video, but some sort of animation that complements the song featuring the characters that are the band.
Right.
So it's really cool. The opening act was Earth Gang, and I'd never heard of them, but like it was really, they were really fun. And then of course, like the Gorillaz were incredible.
I can only
phenomenal.
imagine. But their music is super eclectic, and I don't think a lot of bands can do that very well. Like it's almost like I don't know what to call it aside from kind of like fusion, because they mix a lot of different styles, and I really have enjoyed it, and it's pretty chill.
The new stuff has been fantastic.
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
Right? Like the past couple albums have been good, but like Plastic Beach before this, the one that they're kind of touring to hype up, has been like, that was kind of the pinnacle for me, right? And then the other ones were good, but all of the tracks that they've come out with so far for this one, which comes out like next February, have been like, is this like a complete resurgence? Like, okay.
Hey, I'm here for it. Yeah, I've had Melancholy Hill stuck in my head for like 3 days, so
you're welcome.
I mean, it's making me think we could do like a parody song tonight on Born to be Wild. I mean, I'm just saying.
We're playing Due Process Druid.
Beautiful.
I mean,
We're dropping Jailer and Bolf. Ram Shield. Nate made it in gold.
Gold.
Right before the show.
It's true. We watched him do it.
Can confirm. So my Wednesday itself was incredible, but I dare say, if anyone had a better week than I did this week, Nate, it was you.
all right. Yeah, I appreciate
Spill
that.
the beans.
So, okay, friends. So I want to first say thank you for all the well wishes and things. I've spent the last 2 weeks in job interview land and pretty much avoiding everything else because my kind of philosophy is that if you're going to go for it, like you got to win it by a mile. Like you can't wing it. You have to like super prep for it. And that means you got to know the organization and you got to know what their priorities are and their goals and the history and so like I've done nothing but job prep for like 2-3 weeks now. And so I flew out to California over the weekend, had follow-up in-person interview on Monday complete with like presentation and documents and stuff and testing and all this stuff, and got the call on Wednesday that I got the job. So I'm moving back to California, and
Hooray!
Well done.
Most excellent.
yeah, so I'm very excited. What I should say is it's a conditional job offer pending references and background check and drug screen. The references came back already this week. I did the drug screen today. I do the fingerprints on Monday. Like it'll be fine. I'm not giving notice at my current place until it's all like official because that's the smart thing to do. But I'm over the moon because it's going to be like a great move for us. So I'm really excited. The new place is going to be a challenge, but it's going to be you better not dox me. See, this is where I'm not telling you where I'm working. And I'm going to,
I know.
I probably will have to like change my user. Like it's been a mistake probably to use my real name this whole time. It's probably a bad idea.
You might have to become something else. What did
Nathanos Wolf?
That's yes.
what did Craig affectionately refer to you as the other day? The silver. Oh man, I'm gonna have to listen to the podcast again. It was perfect.
I don't know.
The silver fox.
Silver fox. That's funny. Yeah,
Nate Silver Fox.
I've developed a head full of gray hair over the past several years, that's for sure. But anyways, it's been fantastic news. But it's like just what a crazy set of things. Like it was like a lightning trip to California and back. I was there for 2.5 days, and but I'm like over the moon. I'm so excited, and they gave me more money than I was asking for, which is cool. And just a lot of good things. And so
how often does that happen?
Never. It's bizarre. It was like somebody made a mistake or something. Like they're being very nice to me and I'm not quite sure why, but I'm taking it. And
because a job interview is a date, like that, and dates go both ways. It's like we were talking about last week, right? Like,
yeah. Also, they're expecting you to relocate, so giving you a larger number is probably more incentive to make you, not reconsider.
Yeah,
taking it.
They're asking you if you want to go steady.
The answer is yes. It's interesting though, and like you said, I've been on the other side of that table many times, and by the time you pick somebody, like you don't want to redo it all, and how much do you really want to haggle over a couple bucks? Like, not really. But I'm very grateful about the whole thing because the process is painful and
due process.
No, that's a fundamental right. I mean, so I've done nothing except watch. I've watched 2 seasons of Ink Masters in the past week, which is a lot, and I've played a lot of Hearthstone. Primarily Battlegrounds and Mercenaries because I'm trying to level up all these new mercs, and pretty close to Legend and in Standard. I'm sitting at top 200 in Wild right now, and the ladder is about to reset over the weekend, and so I'll probably jam out some games amongst packing. But I'm over the moon right now. I cannot believe my stress level has been super high, and now I'm just cruising. I feel so good. So,
well, congratulations.
Thank you. It still hasn't It still hasn't kind of set in yet, and I feel like, until I get the official stuff that, I'm still kind of on edge a little bit, but like
you were staying up till like 3:30 in the morning prepping for this kind of stuff. So
yeah,
it's
so
nice to see it pay off.
So for the round 2 interview, part of it was like I had to give a presentation and I had to submit a document, and there was like the presentation, like the PowerPoint was optional, and the document, like it said, hey, use whatever resources are available to you to do this. And so like I looked them up online. I watched whatever, these public meetings that were televised. I used Photoshop to like copy their templates for everything. And so like it was pretty spot on.
Did they say anything about that? Were they like, wow, nice touch?
No, but there was a lot of like, I reached out to a couple of friends for like a second set of eyes as I was working through some of this stuff. And so I'd ask them like, I just want to know, did I get it right? Because, and they're like, yeah, you got it right. And I was like,
nice.
Because there was a
So
couple
cool.
like, I don't know what you want to call them, red herrings or something thrown in there. And
Can confirm.
And I was like, yeah, it was a trap. There was a couple, and it was like a double trap because they had asked me to do this presentation on this set of info, and then they provided more info than was required or requested. And in that additional info, like I found a mistake on the spreadsheet, and like that's part of the job, right? And I was like, oh, it's a mistake. Is that part of the test? Is that like I'm supposed to find the mistake? Is that, did they do it wrong? How do I include? And then going back and rereading the instructions, like that part of it was not even part of the presentation. And I was like, oh my God, you guys, it was like a double trap. And so, but we talked about it, and it was kind of funny. And and like I had, like they laughed a couple of times during the interview, and it just felt very right. When you leave one, you can tell if it went good or not. And so like I left, and I was like, I feel good about this, because I've done ones where I was like, oh, that sucked, and this one I felt good. And so I was on kind of pins and needles for a couple of days, because like when I got this current job, like I got the call the same day, and this one, it was like, I don't know, it was 2 days later, but it felt like a week. And I was like, the more time that goes by, it was like the worse I was feeling, and I was super sleep deprived, staying with my parents who like do not use air conditioning. I was just melting, and
Oh no,
the whole thing was just quite an experience.
they live in LA and they don't use their AC.
They live in Orange County, and it was they use the AC and they set it to 85, which is insane.
Oh, that doesn't count as using AC.
No, it was like, it's disgusting.
Set my air conditioning to 95 degrees just so I don't boil.
Why bother at that point? Anyways, so I have the artwork for the OC up on the screen because that's where I'm moving. With a funny bit of useless trivia for you is that show was not filmed in Orange County. It was filmed in like up in like Santa Barbara or somewhere, or LA or somewhere that was not Orange County, which is kind of funny. Anyways, I had a good week, and I can't believe that it was like, it felt like 2 weeks or 3 into like jammed into one. But here we are. It's the weekend, and gonna spend all weekend packing stuff. So, but it's great. I'm excited.
Excitement abounds. So, for those of you joining us for the first time, welcome aboard.
Hi.
Let me briefly explain how the show works. We record this podcast live every Friday evening at twitch.tv/BornToBeWildHS. And the video version of this podcast is then posted to YouTube shortly thereafter. Audio versions, of course, are also distributed to all the podcast apps. This is a podcast after all. So, however you're watching, listening, or absorbing via osmosis this podcast today, thank you. Yes, you.
I've got to say, it sounded like you were like just about to eulogize somebody or something at the beginning of that.
Oh dear. Yeah. Hey, thank you everybody for hanging out here live in Twitch. It's great to see you all here. Really appreciate it. And thank you to everyone here who's watching it later on YouTube or listening to it on your podcast app of choice. We really appreciate you all tuning in. I found out that today is National Podcast Day, and we had a bunch of people tag us on Twitter, which was very cute. And part of that was because I gave the little bump in Discord, and I appreciate you all for doing that. But it was fun. It's always fun to get recognized. But anyways, thank you all for your support. Big gigantic thank you to Shokunin and to all our patrons. for your support. Really appreciate it. We just realized earlier that we never got around to commissioning artwork for Nathria, and so I'll have to reach out to our artist to do that before it's too late. But she always does an amazing piece, and have to get back on that. But speaking of our artist, she does have some really cool emotes that she made for us. Get these by subscribing to us on Twitch here using Amazon Prime, or you pay for it if you really want to. But they're pretty fun. There's also some ones that you can get for free for just following. Really appreciate that. And if you're interested in merch, we have some stuff up on our website. A couple of beautiful people here wearing our t-shirts, and super fun. So yeah, if you visit us online, borntobewildhs.com, all that stuff is listed there. If you're interested in interacting with us, we do have a Discord channel that's our Discord server rather, that is free. We post a lot of stuff in there, deck lists and memes and jokes and just chatting. Really great time. And yeah, links to all that stuff can be found on our website, borntobewildhs.com. Yep. That's pretty much it. And now my favorite part of the show, if I can find the button.
Welcome to the news. The news is so good.
Oh my god. I'm gonna play it one more time.
Welcome to the news. The news is so good.
I love that. I'm sorry. It's so great.
So good.
Yeah, we had a gigantic update this week. So a lot of
How
new
big?
stuff, and yeah, quite large. There was a lot of stuff that we were expecting, and a lot of stuff that we were not really expecting. I'm still kind of upset about the stupid runestones, because I ended up getting a bunch of the new stuff, and like it was just not easy to use. Like, anyways, but
Yeah. I feel the same. I had the issue with, there was the new Mercenaries bundle, and I'm like, oh cool, it's 4,000 runestones. Let's see how much that is. Oh, buy the $5,000 runestone bundle, $62.99. I'm like, wah wah wah.
that's not right.
But yeah, I could buy, doing maths, you could just buy 2 of the 2,000 and it'll be $50 instead. But yeah, it doesn't always work out perfect. You got extra runestones, and kind of wish I could just get my cash money.
It would make it easier. It would make it easier for sure. Oh gosh, speaking of cash money, you can buy gold packs now. That is
Oh yeah, I heard whispers of this. I didn't see this. Is this is
oh
true?
dude, this is the scariest thing that I have ever seen. I'm not touching this. I am not touching this even close. I'm paranoid about it. Number one, I've spent enough money on this stupid game, but like I already have. So what I've done in the past is they offer these bundles, and like I've always got them. And but the thought process was like, oh well, this is this rare offer. They don't offer these very often, and so I'll do it. But now that they're just there, no way, nope, not happening. But you know what I thought about it? This is someone told me a story once, right? When they were a kid, like parents would keep candy in the house
You're
all the
right.
time, and
I
you get
see them.
you see it all the time, and you get used to it, and you're like, I don't need that. But when it is just super rare, and it's like, oh, I don't have candy at home when I go to grandma's and there's candy, like you want it super bad, but now that it's here, like, it's cool.
I could buy 30 gold packs right now for $124.99.
Dude, it's the price point on this sucks, and I don't remember what it used to be when they had the last bundle, but like 30 packs for $100 US? No way. Like that's kind of absurd. I mean,
So, there is still, especially for us wild players, there is still some sort of minimal time gating on that. So all of the expansions that do have golden pack options are the current standard expansions. So whenever
Correct.
things rotate, there you can also buy golden standard packs and golden wild packs. And kind of like you, Nate, I'm not gonna buy any of these like this. Like if there are more of those like limited bundles where it's like a better, I'm not gonna say good, but a better price point for it, then I'll probably end up biting at some point. But like, these are expensive, and part of me is glad that they're there so that whenever the bundles are offered, I'm less tempted, if that makes sense. Because, oh, well, I mean, yeah, the bundles, there's a better price point for it, but it's not like I'll never be able to just get these golden packs anyway.
Yeah.
So kind of the candy analogy that you gave, I think is hit the nail right on the head, because it's always there. It's just expensive. I'm not gonna. I don't need to get it. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I will say, I mean,
It's fine.
by this point, like, I've kind of already crafted the stuff that I want, and so the temptation is not really there. Because when the last gold bundle came out, like, I didn't need the cards. It was just like, well, it's a good opportunity to get some gold stuff. But now, I don't think that I really need them. In fact, I'm to the point now where I'm like, I got these recent bundles in the store because I wanted the portraits that came with them, but I'm just saving the packs because I'm gonna open duplicates. It's not worth it. So I will say, if I didn't have what I was looking for and I was wanting to find something, like, I like having the option. It'll be interesting because we're going to have a bunch of added expenses between moving and stuff that I'm not going to be able to pump more money into the game right now.
So,
but it's cool that it's available. I wish that they weren't so expensive. Like, it's really a premium for sure.
The gold packs, they have their own pity timer, right? Compared to the normal packs?
They don't have any pity timer.
Oh, they don't have any.
All.
So if I bought...
let me rephrase that. They don't have the first 10-pack pity timer.
Okay.
I've
They've got
heard,
the 40-pack pity timer.
I don't heard, but can't confirm that they don't have the 41 either. But you also get legendaries more frequently from it. At the very least, in my experience, like, I've never been up against the pity timer, but I also don't know that I've had 40 at once to open, because those are expensive. But you seem to, at the very least, get legendaries a lot quicker. But they're also way more expensive.
Do you think they'll offer a golden mega bundle?
Oh, God,
for the next expansion?
Please,
for my wallet, I hope not.
I know. I have a hard time saying no, and I'm gonna have to be a little bit more careful about this, I think, going forward. But we'll see.
$400 golden mega bundle.
I will say, someone brought it up one time. I think it was Shokunin, actually, and it was like, hey, if you could get the entire expansion gold for $500, like, would you do it? And that's a lot of money. And so I was like, I don't know, man, that's a lot of money. But at the same time, how much do you spend on packs, and how many cards is that? Like, I don't want to think about it because that's too much money. But
it's like $1,500 a year to play Hearthstone if you did that.
I don't know. So I used the last of my, like, fun money to get all the stuff. There's new hero portraits for Bran, for Hunter, Bran, and for Mage, a Reno one. I think they're cooking, which is a little goofy, and I guess there's new animations and hero powers, which I have not seen yet.
So for Reno, at least, there is. I actually haven't played around with the brand one yet. So whenever you, the entrance animation for Reno is really cool. It's like a, ramen. I don't think it's like ramen, but it's like it's a lot of the different, kind of ramen-esque stuff, like going into this like pan, and then it like goes down over him, and then whenever you use the hero power, it's like a chili pepper that goes into things. Like, it's,
what? That's rad.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Did you see the Yogg Saron that was like ramen? The artwork for that? Zombies posted it the other day, and I was let me find it because it was hilarious. And let me see if I can.
Saran.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so good. I'll find it.
So is your face.
Aw, I'll find it while we're talking here. But there's a bunch of new stuff. It's interesting because there's a bunch of new mercenaries. If you enjoy the mode, which I do, it's like a time waster, but I enjoy it.
I've been playing the absolute crap out of mercenaries, mostly. So I was trying to decide whether I was going to buy that bundle.
Yeah,
and I opted to not, because when we first got, what was it? Was there 50? It was 50 mercenaries released in the beginning, right? This is what we started.
I don't know.
Something like that.
That's where I went crazy to max everything out. But after that, I stopped. And now we're at 100 and some odd. And so now I've got all these mercenaries that I need to max out. And it didn't make any sense for me to buy this bundle, because a lot of my mercs, I'm just getting the tasks that give you packs at this point.
Yeah.
So I've in the last since the show last week, I've probably opened 10 merc just on free packs easily.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've been saving. I had been saving mine.
Like, and I have most of them. I think we're at 114. I think is how many mercenaries we have, and I got like 90 something of them. Like I'm doing fine, and I'm not paying money. So I think I'm just going to keep task grinding and get the rest for free. Even though the bundle looks pretty spicy.
Yeah, I got him, but I will say I really enjoy.
But you've done most of your tasks already, right? Like for all your other characters. So for you can't really grind packs the way I can at this point.
Only for new ones, yeah. But the pull rates still suck. And like, because there's no pity timer system.
Ramon Saran looks horrible.
I disagree. It looks delicious.
The eggs for the eyes.
He's gonna eat me instead.
If you're listening,
it'll be a duel.
If you're listening to the audio version of this, you're missing out. You have to go watch it on YouTube because
there's Nemzi eating a ramen
saran. By the way, I don't know if I ever announced it on the show, but if you listen on Spotify, the video is available on Spotify, which is kind of cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Just straight uploaded as a video now, and it'll convert to audio for other platforms, but it's available if you're listening on Spotify. Anyways, the artwork is on the screen. That's what we're talking about. It's hilarious. So yeah, Mercenaries and the Battlegrounds had a bunch of new stuff, and so it's weird because the store, like the in-game shop, is like you would think from the main menu they'd have all the stuff, but then if you go off to Mercs, there's different stuff. If you go into Battlegrounds, there's new stuff. Battlegrounds just released a bunch of Murloc skins, including Murloc Bob the Bartender, which is hilarious, and a Murloc finisher, which really is more like slime spears, but still. I really enjoy the Murloc stuff. It's fun. And holy cow, though, it's a lot of stuff. It was almost $200 worth of content.
Wow.
Well, that includes golden mini set. So I guess you can Finn-isher. Oh my gosh. Been hanging out with Ridiculous Hat too much. There was something we saved funny usernames in the Discord, and there was one that I shared with him earlier this week. It was called like what was it? It was like Punderful or something like that. Hold on. It was called it was Punstoppable. It's terrible, but what do you say? Glorious but terrible.
Glorious and terrible. Yeah. So coming to the store soon are more
it's
hero
food
portraits
themed
as
stuff.
well. Yeah, food themed stuff there too.
Isn't the animation of Uther eating the burger? It's so ridiculous.
It looks so much fun. I'm so lucky that my wife looks at me like Uther looks at that burger.
Do we have a picture of this?
Who posted it? If I'll put it up on the screen if someone can find it. I think maybe it was Imic or somebody on Twitter. I'll find it. Hold on.
Yeah, so there's I dropped it for you
in the Discord. Oh wow, he loves that burger.
He does.
You should see the animated version though. Holy cow, it's hilarious.
So if you're in the Hearthstone client right now, just go over to the portraits, type missing. It'll pop right up. You could probably also just type Burger Uther. You totally can. And then just right click it. Or, if you're on mobile, tap, it'll pop up. You'll see him just like going to town on that burger. He's loving it.
There's a whole bunch more actually. I'm looking on Twitter and there's a Finley eating sushi. There's the Demon Hunter one with the pie, pumpkin pie or something.
Yeah, so the Demon Hunter is called Apple Arana, and she's making an apple pie. There's the Druid is Epicurean Elise, who has some whatchamacallums. That's helpful. Pastries, which look incredible. We already talked about Burger Uther. There's Fishy Finley, who is in fact consuming some of his brethren. There's Appetizer Anduin, who has some avocado toast. Then there's Marshmallow Maev. There's Noodle Nimsy, which you already mentioned. And then finally there's Goulash Garage.
Oh
I'm just picturing them sitting in the. Thinking of them sitting in the boardroom down at Blizzard.
Avocado toast sitting there like, Anduin.
Like what can we come up with next? We need to hit this deadline. We need more skins. What are we gonna do? And someone's just eating a burger. Like,
look at the way he's eating.
Hold on, I got an idea. Like that. Let's draw that.
Gets it.
Uther gets it. And then suddenly it was born. Like it'd be funny if it was like everything everyone was eating in that boardroom at that time. Like whatever lunch they packed that day.
Some of these are pretty funny. The Uther one though, because his eyes. Someone in chat says he's blazing. Yeah, pretty much. Look at him.
They're not bloodshot enough.
Jeez. Anduin with the avocado toast. It's so Anduin. I looked at that first and I was like, what the heck is that? It doesn't, but that's the only thing it could possibly be, right?
Oh my gosh. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, there's some fun new stuff. The new card back Hydra was showing us right before the show is quite beautiful, actually.
So tasty looking.
It
like
kinda,
sugar cookie material or something.
It kind of looks like some ones that we've got before, like these fall ones, but like, wow, this is a really nice one. Yeah. I like it. Here, let me make it a little bigger for the screen.
Yeah, so that's the October card back. It is in the game now, and Hydra, since of course he's got his APAC account, has already been able to see it displayed for him there too. Look at that, glorious.
Yeah. No, that one's very, very pretty.
Oh wait a minute. Okay, you know that rhyme that everyone learns when they're a kid, like 30 days hath September, and I never learned
April, June, and November. All the rest have 31 except for February, which is weird and only has 28, but sometimes it's got another one.
You are ready for parenthood, sir.
I never learned that one, and I hear it and I know it, but like I couldn't repeat it. And so I didn't realize that the ladder resets at midnight tonight.
Yeah.
So like we could sleep or we could play Hearthstone.
No, sleep till Hearthstone.
Dun, dun, legend.
I am a Beastie Boys fan, and I got that reference.
We haven't done that song yet, have we?
No. So, keeping with the food theme here, there is a new mystery card back. I still have yet to do the last one because I'm a slacker, but there's a new one. I guess it was discovered very quickly by the WoW mystery solver Discord or whatever. But anyways, we've got a link in our show notes here that there's a guide on Out of Cards to how to solve it if you want this. So yeah. Is that sushi?
So what you do?
I can't tell. It's got some fish on it.
Yeah. So what you do is you enter you load up this particular shaman deck, which I dropped, if you're watching live, into the chat, and is of course also in our show notes.
Spoilers, by the way, but I'm sure we all aren't going to figure this out on our own. Anyway.
Yeah, there's no way to know how to enter it. Yeah, there's no way to know how to enter the encounter without looking that part up. Let's be real.
Yeah.
I say that apparently they were kind of hidden in some card flavor text or whatnot, like the different card titles, like the card names. Wow, words are hard. And so you drop that into your collection, and then you go and you play a wild match with that deck. But instead of queuing into ranked wild, it drops you into a completely different instance, and you basically get to kind of solve a crime. And you get 2 hints per round. You only get 10 rounds, and I haven't done it yet because Wednesday I was at a concert, like we mentioned, and I've got a grad class too, so it's happening this weekend, but I haven't quite done it yet. I mean, I've started it.
You have the choice to either get the mystery card back or go to the Gorillaz concert, and you chose to go to the Gorillaz concert. I mean, what does that say about you as a person?
Come on, where's your commitment?
It says that I'm gonna get the mystery card back this weekend, and the Gorillaz are in Texas this weekend, so I just was gonna miss them. So
oh my gosh, I'm just jealous. That's all. I still don't have the last mystery card back because the first one took 3 hours, and I was just not ready for that kind of commitment.
How many are there? Is there 3?
There's
so this is the 4th one.
Yeah.
4. Okay, so I might be missing the 3rd then, because I've done the first 2 for sure.
Yeah, we should do it together.
Nate, let's double team it.
I also am missing the 3rd one. I've done the first.
Triple team it.
Yeah, so there are 3 steps to the 3rd one. I've done the first step and started on the 2nd, and then just got distracted. The 3rd step, apparently, because Schmoopy Daddy did it, it takes forever.
Oh, no.
hours.
I'm having flashbacks to when Blue Train, Nate and I were doing the one that had it was 100 steps in a row for the final step, and Blue Train clicked the wrong button.
Right?
And at the very end. Yeah.
And he's like, I have to start again.
No.
Oh, that was not. Yeah, I'm trying to find a sad. Oh, here we go.
Tonight, a tale of terrible tragedy.
It was so. Yeah, it was like a long time, and you can't mess up. And some of us don't have the attention span of others, and that makes it a little bit more difficult. So, geez. Well, anyways, yeah, a lot of stuff, and so mini set came out as well, right? And
Yeah.
right, some new cards, definitely. We have some decks tonight to talk about that feature these, so I will be kind of interested to play these, and I haven't played mostly kind of casually because I didn't want to tank my rank, and I knew that the ladder was resetting really soon. One thing that I wanted to highlight really quickly, I'm a little bit nervous about this, but I have a bad feeling that Hunter is about to get nuked into orbit, because the win rate right now, according to HS Replay, in standard, of course, 57.4% is miles above everything else. And so if you enjoy playing Beast Hunter, get your reps in now. What I really hope, I don't really care too much about standard, but Copper Hunter has been a great deck, especially for Wild. And if they hit that, it's going to be sad. I don't think that they'll hit it too hard, but I'm not quite sure what it will be. But that win rate is too high.
Oh, are we doing nerf predictions? Because I have some ideas.
Well, I think
you've been playing some Hunter. Yeah, let's go through the decks and maybe
let's hear what you think, because I have been mostly playing Wild and then being in job interview land, and so I don't know. I'm familiar with Beast Hunter, but I would be very interested in your thoughts.
Yeah. So first and foremost, harpoon gun.
Yeah.
I think that it will either get. What I think will probably happen is that both the attack and the cost reduction will get nudged down. So probably to a 3-mana 2/2. You dredge, and then if it's a beast, reduces cost to 2.
Why don't they just make it cost 12 mana? And no one's going to play it anymore.
Because the current dev team does nudges, right?
Yeah.
They don't Warsong Commander things anymore, which I think is a good move. Another one that I think is probably going to get hit is the Ashran Saber. So the first one, Rush, Death Rattle, put a Sunken Saber on the bottom of the deck.
Yeah.
A Sunken Saber then, recruits a beast from your deck. I think that'll probably recruit a beast that is 5 or below. I think that they'll cap it. Which would, you wouldn't play that card in the Big Beast Hunter, at least. Other possibilities are Hydralodon, nudging down the health of Hydralodon, if nothing else. And Mountain Bear is the other kind of option there. So some of the bigger beasts, I think, are more possible or are more likely rather than some of the other things. So I think Copper Hunter largely will be untouched because it's really just the cheating out the big beasts early. Which, let's be real, the harpoon gun is what is the draw, not just draw engine, but the mana cheat engine of the deck. And the mana cheat is what makes that deck so powerful. So harpoon gun is the most likely, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I think so. I think that the Wild Steeds are okay, right? It's the cheating out stuff that I think makes it feel bad. The deck is strong, but they're not going to hit Tavish. I don't think that they're going to hit Eichmann costs 9 already. They're not going to hit Eichmann.
And Eichmann isn't in every build either. I don't think that they'll hit Eichmann too hard.
I think the harpoon gun for sure. Maybe the bear. Maybe the saber. Because that pulls a card and you're getting a freaking crush or something. It's kind of a build around, but the deck is strong for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 57.4% on HS Replays.
That's so high. And it's
a big outlier too.
it's the 57% is not necessarily the big thing, but it's when you look at it in comparison with the other ones, that's a big difference. And Warrior, even after it got buffs, is still at 42%.
Rip.
It's just not like even remotely playable. So the question then would be, how does this potentially impact Wild? Because we've seen Copper Hunter come back. For those of you who are not aware, Copper Hunter is essentially Beast Hunter, right? The idea is to play a bunch of small beasts and buff them and then give them charge with Rhino. And it's very, very fast. Or to get a Hyena out. I think some people are starting to cut Hyena, but like the card seems good. I got this list from NHL. Let me get a little bit bigger here. It's in our show notes if you want the code. But yeah, it's got the new beast, the Shadehound, which seems very strong. Shadehound reminds me of Rokara, except for beasts. Right, every time your beasts attack, or every time this attacks, your beasts get +2/+2 or something like that. Like, dude, okay.
Yeah.
And if you can drop this with Rhino, holy cow.
Yeah.
So seems good. I have not played the deck personally. It's the skill cap is pretty high.
It's not your average Beast Hunter of old that we used to play. No. Not at all.
No, and like it's not necessarily I don't know that I could really call it an aggro deck per se, like I would with like Pirate Rogue or whatever. But it's strong. I mean, you play a bunch of little beasts for very quick. You can make a giant hyena and give it charge with the Rhino, or you've got between all your little tiny beasts with Starving Buzzard, like a massive draw engine, and it adds a couple of Crackling Razor Maws that give things what's it called? Evolve or no, where they like mutate from Ungoro. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Adapt.
Adapt.
That's
Sorry,
it, yeah.
Words hard.
Yeah, you get like +1/+1, or can't be targeted, or
Wind Fury.
Wind Fury.
Or Divine Shield, I
Divine
think
Shield.
is one.
+3, and +3 attack is one.
+3 attack.
And yeah, so these. That being said, like if they hit the cards in Standard, I don't really think. I mean, Harpoon Gun is in this list. The rest I think is probably safe.
Yeah, because I've already hit the Wild Spirits, and while that's in the Standard deck, it's not what makes the deck go.
Makes
So
sense.
agreed.
Yeah, makes sense. Sorry, I keep looking at my phone. I apologize. My kid is trying to decide whether he wants to spend the night at his friends, and I'm just sorry. Apologize. Anyways. I'm interested to see. This list has Huntsman Altimore in it, which I haven't seen a lot of play, although in this deck it makes a lot of sense because we're running little like small beasts and it could get infused pretty easy. Tundra Rhino is really what makes this deck, because if you can get a bunch of stuff on board and then you can give it charge, like ooh. This deck is surprisingly strong, and I have lost to it a number of times. So I think the only new card is the Shadehound, but it seems strong.
I mean, that's all we need sometimes. In Wild
Yeah.
is like
Well,
one more
yeah,
card.
I mean, geez, when the
Yeah.
new set came out for the Caverns one, whatever it was called, that had Mr. Smite in it, it's like, yeah, all it takes is 2 cards to turn everything upside down. So anyways, so this is from NHL, Beast Hunter or Copper Hunter. Next deck that I've got is a Secret Mage deck from Corbett, which earlier in the week I saw him streaming and he was trying a 40 card like Renathal version, and it felt kind of so, but this one here I got from Discord, and it's a 30 card version, but it's got new cards in it. It's got the let me see here, the new secret Objection, which is really strong actually. It's counterspell but a minion. Yeah,
Dude,
insert Phoenix right Objection.
That card yesterday, so I versed a Raza priest, and right as they were gonna play their Reno Jackson on 6, I happened to play this card on turn 5.
Oh, I love it.
That worked out very well for me.
Nice.
I like it. I like the card.
Secret Mage could be back. I don't know yet if it's these are all too early to tell. I mean, we just got the mini set, right? So, but yeah, Objection seems really good. Also, it's got the new Contract Conjurer, which is a 6 mana 6/6, I think, but it costs less for each secret. And
Yeah, 3 less for each secret. So
You only need 2 secrets up, and it's free.
I don't.
it very often is free. Yeah. Or, oh well, you paid 3 mana for 6s. Like,
I don't think that this list is refined yet because the mini set just came out this week. I've seen the Renathal version. I've seen the 30 card version. I saw No Hands Gamer posted a standard list yesterday. It went 10-1 with it, and which is a small sample size, admittedly, but it, I think it will get refined over the next couple of weeks. This list does not have Orion. I really like Orion, but Orion costs 4, and like, I don't know. I think Orion is strong. I have a golden one, so I'm gonna play it. But
right, like it's super awesome when it works. So I think it's so cool and fancy when it actually works. But I feel like it's sort of unnecessary.
I don't know. This list cuts Ice Block, which makes me feel a little bit weird. And
yeah, I noticed a lot, especially Renathal lists, cutting it because you have 40 health instead.
The reason that I like it though is because for cards that like require a secret to proc, it's kind of nice to have. I don't know. I'm not, I feel like for me personally, I'm more of a pilot than I am a builder. And I feel like this is close. I don't know that Secret Mage is going to be tier 1 or anything. This is probably like a tier 3, but it seems pretty good. And if you can snowball with it, you'll be fine.
Yeah, it looks like there's only really a little bit of fine tuning that really needs to happen. Like I think that, for example, Cabal Crystal Runner and Contract Conjure kind of fit the same, like they do the same thing.
Yeah.
And if the deck is more about having its secrets up, cheating secrets out quick, to then use things like Cloud Prince and Medee's Valet to go face, having additional free or cheap minions may not be what you want to do. But it does seem like it's really close and it's just kind of needing to be fine-tuned. Also, I mean, let's be real. Free 5/5s and 6/6s is pretty much always good. So maybe you don't cut those. Maybe it's something else. Yeah. But like a second Flak Mage seems like that might be necessary. But you've also got Chatty Bartender. So like, do you need to cut Flak Mage or do you,
we have
do you
too
only
many
need
cards?
The one? Like,
yeah, right. But this list cut Occult Conjurer. Like I never thought I would see that. And
right.
I mean, it's just I don't know. I think it's probably okay one way or the other. And again, I'm not quite sure. People are experimenting with the new stuff. I mean, for heaven's sake, I saw a Shutterwalk Shaman this week. Like, people are trying the new cards, and that makes me happy. And it's always interesting to see decks come back that we haven't seen for a while. And I just don't know. I mean, I want to play Secret Mage because I've never hit Legend in Wild with Mage, only in Standard, and I'd like to do that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what list is right. Could you probably do it with either? Yeah, probably.
On HearthstoneDecks.net, a bunch of the new lists that are uploaded they're running that Selfless Sidekick. So that's the 7 mana 6/6 that equips a random weapon from your deck. For Aluneth. Yeah. So I tried that and it was actually cool.
Yeah,
because sometimes you play Aluneth for 6 mana and your turn is just shot, right?
It's Aluneth on a body. Yeah.
Yeah, Aluneth on a body for 1 more mana. But at this point you can't play Sphere, right? Because a lot of people used to run Sphere to kill the Aluneth, but you could accidentally equip Sphere instead if you run this card. So it's like you're on steroids as soon as you play Aluneth with this, because I was playing the 40 card version, Schmoopy's version that he dropped in our Discord, and there's a lot of way to cheat out a lot of the secrets, right? So every turn I was dropping free 6/6s and free 5/5s and like playing 4 secrets and
oh my gosh,
and then draw more cards. It was ridiculous. But at that point, it was like a race. Like I'm gonna go fatigue myself at this point.
Yeah.
But I went 6-0. Thank you, Schmoopy.
Dude, all right.
So actually 6-0. Then I lost. So technically, it was 6-1.
7-1. 6-1.
6-1. But
we can just leave it at 6-0 and forget about the loss.
I mean, at one point you were 6-0, so it's not wrong.
At one point I was. So yeah, that Selfless Sidekick in the games that I played was pretty great. In an objection, that card was totally like the MVP. It was awesome.
Nice.
I mean, people are going to expect it more now than ever because it's the new card. People are going to be playing it, but it's just awesome. I like it.
It seems fun. All right, so
Objection.
I gotta add some Phoenix Wright sounds to our soundboard here. By the way, if anyone is really bored, I did a full like write up for this mini set from like a legal perspective of all the inside jokes and memes and what everything means. It's kind of boring, but if you're interested, like I'll share it.
See, it's boring to you because you interact with these terms on the reg like every day. It's not boring to us because we get to learn about it. So.
I guess if you wanna learn, right? I'm happy to share it. It was kind of fun. I was like couldn't sleep and I needed something to do. Goliath was editing it for me, and I think it's going to end up as an article up on Out of Cards like any day now. I wrote it. I think it like the day before the set dropped, so soon probably. But all right, this next one might be a meme and it might be the dream, but I crafted a golden Bolf for it, so you're welcome. This is a new version of Jade Druid, and you can't see the whole list on the screen here because it's a 40 card version. So I've got the top end, but it's running the Jailer, our new card that destroys the rest of your deck and makes your minions invulnerable. It's also running Jade. A handful of Jade cards, but it's also running Jade Idol, which shuffles cards back in your deck so that you're immune to the
fatigue. Jailer and then just Idol after that?
Yeah. And it's also running Bolf Ram Shield, the memeiest card ever, which says, what is it? When your hero would take damage, that takes damage instead. So you're not fatiguing. I've seen versions of this as well that are running rude. Kazakhstan so that you could shuffle cards back into your deck. It's like a super greed fest. But like,
oh yeah,
that's what Druid does, right? So it's probably not that bad. This is Schmoopy Daddy's list, and it looks really fun. I think I kind of want to play it, and it's probably pretty good. I don't really know what to say. These cards, like, it looks super greedy on the top end, but yeah, I mean, if you've got a giant board and your opponent can't do anything about it, like, they're kind of just screwed. And it's got a bunch of the cards that we were running before with Sire Denathrius on the top end. Twig and Sphere, Sire Floop tokens. The whole package is very similar to what we were running before. I love seeing a couple of the Jade cards that we haven't seen in a long time. And I opened up a golden Aya with the last golden wild bundle. And so I'm excited to get to play it. This looks like a fun one. I don't really know what else to say. It's Druid doing Druid things. I mean, oh gosh. Yeah. And now Schmoopy's typing it in chat. See, we're on the same wavelength over here. Like, it's just, I think the Druid has like a pretty standard 30 card bundle. And then you just slap in Renathal and the other 9 cards that you want. And there's
Denathrius, because why not, right? Like,
I mean, I have lost so many games this week that I would have otherwise won to Denathrius out of nowhere.
If it didn't exist.
One thing that I learned that was pretty interesting, two things this week. Number one, if you've got a board full of immune minions and your opponent plays Denathrius, like, they don't heal, like, it doesn't damage them and they don't heal up even though it tries. Like, they could drop a 40 damage Denathrius and it'll try to target your board and they'll just absorb it. And then they don't gain health, which is pretty funny.
That's cool.
The other thing that I tried Bran into the new Sylvanas, and it just doesn't work because it's targeted.
Oh yeah, because it's targeted. However, Bran with Jeweled Macaw using Sylvanas's battle cry, that does proc twice because it's not targeted. Fun fact.
Hey. There we go. So, see, we're teaching you things on Born to be Wild. Loophole. Yeah, now you're really talking like a lawyer. I love it. All right. This is so if anyone wants to try this, like, you can't see the full list on the screen here. I'll put the deck code in the chat. And it's in the show notes if anyone wants to try it out. This is from Schmoopy Daddy. Appreciate that. You forgot about due process. Oh, yeah. It's because I couldn't see it on the screen because I'm old and my eyes don't work that great anymore. Or it's a 40 card deck and this is showing the top end because I'm super greedy. It's running due process, which makes your Jades better and Mills greed. Yeah. And solar eclipse. So the due process, if you don't know, it says at the start of each turn, like, both players draw an extra card. So yeah.
And it's the start of every turn. So if someone just plays a normal due process, then everyone's drawing 2 cards a turn. If you solar due process, That's 3 cards. If you solo
What if
do
you're-
process twice, it's 5
What if you're
cards.
both druids and you both do that?
It's even more. And if you Moonlit Guidance, another due process, and it can be so many more cards. It's great.
Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one.
Yep.
Exactly.
Well, that looks like fun to me. I will try it. This is another that I'm not quite sure is totally like established yet and or optimized yet. Does the Jailer belong in Druid? Does Bolf belong in Druid? But like there's a bunch of versions of like Dragon Druid or DN Druid or whatever people are calling it, and like you could slot in and out a handful of cards and it's still doing Druid things. So I like it. It looks fun. I'm gonna play it. I will report back. These next two look super fun. Sheep brought these, and this one in particular, I think we really want to talk about because it looks fun. Quest Hunter, and not the quest that you're thinking.
Yeah, so this is Unseal the Vaults Quest Hunter. So that's the one where after you've played 20 minions, your hero power changes to give your minions +2 attack. This was originally posted by Pigpen into our Discord, a slightly different version. So Pigpen posted Herd's version, and Herd hit number 14 in China. I made some changes, like taking out things like where'd it go? Dread Scale, because we run so many 1 health minions, it ended up being like counterproductive to run Dread Scale. It always seemed clunky. Took out things like that to add, the second one of the new cards and Ozumat, because hey,
Ozumat,
an 8 mana fill your board. That's exactly what Unseal the Vault wants. That was Pigpen's idea. And I tried it out and it worked great.
I love it. That's great though. I mean, it's kind of funny because I thought Ozumat was unplayable. This actually looks a lot like your kind of Beast Hunter, Copper Hunter with it actually looks pretty solid. You said it was really fun, yeah?
Oh yeah, it's a blast. So we also, of course, run Master's Call.
Did you just say?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
I did. Yeah, exactly. Ozumat is a beast too. So I also added Zixor. That was another addition of mine. It's just everything about it is so much fun. It's a Renathal deck, so we run 40 cards. We also do run Master's Call as a 2-of. So every other minion, and we run a ton of minions, is a beast. So you have to have a severe low roll to not draw 3. If you just discover one instead of draw 3, like you low rolled, but like you at least get to discover and decide what it is you draw. So like even in the low roll, you have agency in it. Tons of things that summon extra copies, like Wolpertinger and Alley Cat. One really fun interaction is you drop Wolpertinger and then you Devouring Swarm something, which means that you get 2 Wolpertingers back into your hand, which every time you play one of those Wolpertingers, it summons an extra Wolpertinger.
That is so cool.
So you just go wide and you keep on going wide. And then once you've summoned 20 minions, you buff your board. I played against Raffle the other day, and it was really funny. I had 2-1 Starving Buzzard on board, and he was about to brawl, so he dropped Dirty Rat. Dirty Rat pulled out Pelican Diver, which gave me a draw, but then whenever he brawled, it didn't, affect the brawl.
Yeah.
Right. So I got the draw immediately from it being pulled from my hand, which also when you play Pelican Diver with I keep on forgetting the word for Starving Buzzard. With Starving Buzzard on board, you get the draw immediately, even though it's dormant. So that's a fun interaction there too. But yeah, so I got the draw and it didn't actually mess with the brawl maths there, which was pretty fun too.
Oh, what happens if you play Pelican and Rhino? Is it still dormant? Or not?
It's still dormant, yeah, because technically it has charge while the Rhino's on board, but it doesn't matter if it's dormant, right? It's kind of like the Wild Seed that has Rush. It's got Rush, but it's also got dormant, so it's not active quite yet.
That new Shade Hound seems really good to me.
Yeah.
We didn't do a mini set review. Well, we kind of did, but like that card seems pretty nutty.
Of what was like announced
at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. So Shadehound is one of the new cards, and Stonebound Gargan is the other new card. So the Gargan is a 4-mana 3/5 that has cleave. So they're both infused. So the Gargan always has cleave, but when it's infused, then it has rush. The Shadehound is a 5-mana 6/5.
This is gross.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
I haven't used it yet. Oh my god.
Yeah. The Gargan is incredible. So 5-mana 6/5 always has rush, but whenever it's infused, it buffs all of the beasts +2/+2.
That's incredible.
So, again, we only run one minion that is not a beast. That's Renathal, so we can fit more beasts in our deck. So pretty much whenever you're playing the Gargan, you're buffing your whole board by +2/+2. And when you have Rhino on board, you can go right to the face.
There you go.
And then buff your board.
Right in the face.
Yeah, okay.
Shadehound's flavor text is, this Shadehound wasn't just a good boy. He was the best.
Can confirm.
The memes are spot on. I went through, when I did my little write-up article thing, I went through all the flavor text, and some of it's pretty good.
Oh, I bet.
There's there's some good references there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, wait, and is this next one? This is a skeleton mage, but in wild.
Yeah. So
in wild, what?
So this one actually doesn't run any of the new cards because I misunderstood the assignment there.
Did you understand the assignment?
No. So what had happened was last night I was having a hard time getting to sleep, and I was like, I want to play Spooky Mage, but like I'm camping in Standard, so I'm gonna make it in Wild where I have things like Ice Block. And so basically I running so many freeze effects, Ice Block, Ancient Mysteries, that's the only secret that we're running. The only spell that's not a frost spell is Wildfire. So things like the Frostweave Dungeoneer, you're almost certainly getting the 1/1 tokens that freeze, right?
Yeah.
And if you're not getting those tokens, it's because you drew Wildfire, which is also great.
Yeah. Oh no, I got the one card I really want.
Exactly.
Jeez.
I really want to jam Mordred in there too, but I just couldn't find a place for it. And again, this was like I couldn't sleep, so I was just throwing something together, freezing everything, going face with the Skellingtons, Deathborn to make more Skellingtons, Kel'Thuzad the Inevitable to make more Skellingtons, and go face with the Skellingtons that don't get summoned on board. It's just fun.
Okay, so I gotta show you. I don't know if anyone saw it. I know this is a wild show, but it made me think. No Hands Gamer was running a secret mage in Standard and was running Dawn Grasp in it, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I started looking at the secrets, and it was like, oh, Frost secret, Fire secret, Arcane secret. Oh crap. And it almost makes me wonder if
You're on the quiet line.
well, not necessarily, but it makes me wonder if we should just, like, if I'm going to play a Renathal version in Wild, like, why not dump Dawn Grasp in it? Because it's going to, like, replay 3 secrets.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant the minion Dawn Grasp.
No, the
yeah,
hero.
I'm so
Magister.
confused. I'm like,
Yeah, here, I'll put it up on the
that
screen.
doesn't
and
fit.
This is an interesting thought. I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but
to just recast from each spell school.
I mean,
Also, I slightly misspoke. I forgot that I run, of course, Ancient Mysteries. So the Frostweave could also pull that, which is the other card that you really want.
It's probably
and AI.
Yeah,
maybe in the
I could
Renathal
probably cut
version,
AI
but like
for Mordred.
I think so.
it sounds fun and annoying.
So this
Yeah.
so this is again, this is a No Hand Gamer's standard list, but it's also running Wildfire and Mordresh on the top. Like, you probably love this. It's pretty fun, actually. I enjoy it. I didn't think that Secret Mage could be viable in Standard, and it seems pretty okay.
That does look fun.
Maybe I'll put together my own like Renathal version and just dump Magister Dawn Grasp in just to See?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could end up with a free ice block that way. I mean, that's why it was being played in that's why they were being played in Quest Mage, right? Get a free ice block.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It seems pretty okay.
Yeah. So,
Anyways.
Spooky Mage was fun. It's basically Freeze Mage with skeletons.
I love the skeletons. They're so fun.
They are.
Kel'Thuzad with the skeletons is like, it's just chef's kiss. So good.
It was a cool new thing for Mage to do. Mage has done a lot of the same thing over and over and over again, and I love the addition of the skellies.
Spooky,
Skellies
scary
are cool.
skeleton.
As someone who played a lot of Necromancer and Diablo, I appreciate the skellies.
I like it. We'll post the list. It's in our show notes, and we'll post it in chat right now as well. For the standard one, I'll have to pull it up, but it's from No Hands Gamer. It's on his like Twitter or whatever. You can probably find it on Donkey or on his wherever he posts stuff. So
And all place that Hearthstone decks can be found.
right. Oh, we could make parody songs for days. We came up Goliath. I don't know if you were here, but we came up with a pretty good one at the start of the show. Speaking of Goliath, we are planning another lore episode for next week, and we'll hit on the lore, particularly of the Maw and the Jailer and Sylvanas, kind of hitting the Maw and Disorder mini set lore here. And that'll be a lot of fun. That gives us a week to prep for it, and yeah, I'm excited for it.
Excitement abounds.
That's right.
Is there anything else interesting that Goliath may have done recently?
Oh, yeah, yes. Congratulations are in order, actually. Yes, big old giant congrats to Goliath, who just hit legend. I believe he said it was the second time he's hit legend, and
Second time, yeah.
That's super cool. Oh my gosh. I still get like the flutters, and but very cool. Second time ever. That feels so amazing. I think it was with Secret Mage, right? And I think it was a homebrew version as well. Yeah, Renathal Secret Mage.
Yeah, that's so cool.
So big congrats to Goliath. I think that's awesome.
Yes, his own homebrew, he says. So
there's something to be said about like the homebrew where you feel the accomplishment, I think, a little bit more so than when you like copy pasted someone else's list. I don't know, maybe not, but I'm very proud of you and happy for you. I think it's very cool.
Congrats, Goliath.
That's right.
Congratulations, Goliath the Dwarf.
Well, I think that's pretty much all we got for this week's show, unless I'm missing anything. But
I think there's one thing that you're missing, Nate.
Well, it could be
And now, unrelated advice
Is that what you're talking about?
That's exactly what I was talking about.
with Nate Wolf.
Well, friends, I think I need some advice for moving, especially moving from one state to another state, as my friend Sheep over here has recently become very familiar with. I've done it about 10 years ago, but it's been a long time for me. Do you have any advice on packing? I've only got about 3, maybe 4 weeks, so I kind of got to like blitz through everything.
I would say
Get rid of all your crap.
For one, get rid of all your crap. For two, anything that you want to not be kind of thrown in mismatch with everything else, pack first. Because when you come down to the wire, you'll just have boxes and you'll basically just be throwing stuff in. So you've got a really nice display of Hearthstone and Warcraft
All this stuff back here.
memorabilia behind you. I would probably pack that first, because when you're very first packing, you're putting things into the right stuff that it's actually for, and you're packing in, making sure that it's not. But whenever you're going down the stretch, you're just throwing crap into a box and shipping it out the door. So
right. Okay, legit question though. What what did you do with your pets? Like, because this is if we drive, which we're going to have to, it's about 17, 18 hours. And so I think we're going to probably just leave at night and take turns and just power through. But like, I've got 2 cats and they're going to be in the car.
Do you happen to own a travel trailer?
Not yet.
Oh, because that's what I did. Is I just put them in the travel trailer because I had to move and I had to haul that. So I was just like, here you go inside there. You guys can have fun.
For 18 hours though?
No, 13-hour drive.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, from Edmonton to Vancouver. Yeah.
So whenever we moved from Texas to Colorado, we stopped in Amarillo and we did some sleuthing beforehand and found a hotel that is pet friendly. So we didn't, switch off overnight. So, had the disposable litter box for the cats. And then, we have poop bags for the dogs. So like, that's already taken care of. That's something we have to do anyway. But just if you're stopping, which it sounds like you're probably gonna switch off. But if you plan on stopping, just do your research beforehand. Make sure that it's pet friendly, that the hotel is pet friendly. Bring the stuff for that. And then we had both of our cars were like loaded to the gills with stuff, and we also had movers. But the stuff that we had in our cars were, the stuff that we wanted to make sure didn't get damaged in the move, like our pets. So, we have travel stuff for the cats, and then our pupper, she just goes into the we have hatchbacks, so into the trunk essentially. But she can still see us, and she has plenty of room to move around, and has her little bed and stuff like that. So just research beforehand, find out a good place that allows pets, and prepare other items like a disposable litter box so that you're not traveling with the full litter box in the car too.
The pets in the end probably won't be the happiest. Traveling for cats is not fun.
I can't imagine.
They don't like it.
No.
They don't like it.
Mine were fine.
Were they?
Yeah. They're kind of used to it though, because we would visit my parents that are about 2 hours away pretty regularly, and then my wife's parents were about like 5 or 6 hours.
Wait, and you'd bring them?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I guess they were used to it. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
5 or 6 hours, they start getting grumpy at that point. But 2 hours, they're just like, oh, we're doing this now.
Cool. Because like dogs, like my dog, if I open the door to my truck, he just jumped right in every single time because he wants to go, right?
Well,
I throw my cat in and it's like mayhem.
You have to get a case for the cats. Just having them roaming around.
That's why
that's
the
a bad
travel
idea.
trailer worked out perfect, right? They had a whole house to play in back there. It was great.
Yeah. Travel crate for the cat for sure.
Well, there we go. Wiser words were never spoken, and you heard that on
Born to be wild.
Yeah, dude, if you are driving with cats not in some kind of like crate type of thing, like you're all gonna die.
Yeah.
Real quick.
The cat's just gonna like jump on your face. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's one way to drive off the road.
I'll pass. Yeah. Well, this was fun.
That was a fun episode.